Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm the Strategy Professor, and today we're going to be starting a brand new campaign with Throt. So as always, if you enjoy the content, please be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out a ton on the channel. Check out the rest of the content as well. We have, probably over 100 campaigns at this point, dating all the way back to the initial release of Warhammer 1, and we're constantly bringing out new content, so check all that out. If you'd like to sponsor a campaign yourself, just email me at theStrategyProfessor, all one word, at gmail.com. Let me know what you have in mind. It's just $3 an episode, minimum 10 episodes. And I can give you kind of a timeline on when I'd be able to get that out for you. But if you're interested, just shoot me an email. Okay. So, I recently did a Kairos campaign, and that was pretty fun. But I had several requests to go back and do a Skaven campaign, and Skaven has historically been my most popular race in terms of what people like to watch. And frankly, it's one of my favorite races, if not my outright favorite race. It has historically been my favorite, but there have been some newer factions that are a lot more interesting, like the new Ogre Lord was pretty cool. That campaign was great, and then the Chaos Dwarves are also pretty fun. But I do love me some Skaven, so let's get in here. Now, I have done a Molder campaign before. I think it was a while ago. So there have been a few changes to Skaven, and they recently changed a lot of Kislev and added some more factions up top, those new dwarves. So there's a lot of new stuff to kind of navigate up here, so it'll be pretty fresh and interesting. So you get the Clan Molder Flesh Lab, which is pretty cool. I'll show you that when we get in there. You get immune to mountain attrition, which most Skaven have mountain attrition, so that's nice. 10% on all characters, hit points good, minus 50% for building up your monster producing buildings, that's kind of cool. Ward effects, 20% upkeep off all the monsters. He has regeneration. He has Beast Pack, where you can summon a Rat Ogre, a pack of Rat Ogres. Master Controller, which this one's probably going to be really nice, especially early game, getting 4 extra leadership, 5 extra melee defense, and then 10 extra armor for all your monsters as well. Okay, and then as usual, legendary, very hard, and we'll just leave all the rest of the stuff the same. And Iron Man mode, which used to be standard on legendary, but for some reason they took that off. But we still like to do Iron Man mode, just live with our decisions, keeps it more interesting, adds a little more weight if you screw up. So I think that's just a fun part of strategy games is, stuff not going the way you want sometimes, you got to adapt. Okay, now I was really torn between doing this and an Ikit Claw campaign, because I do want to go back and do Ikit Claw. I think all the Skaven are pretty fun, honestly, but those two have a ton of extra mechanics that I think are both really engaging and fun, with the Flesh Lab, with Clan Molder, and then Ikit Claw with the Workshop. I would highly recommend, if you like Skaven and you don't have those DLCs, I would pick those up. I think Ikit Claw is probably a little bit easier of a start position. He's not near many major factions that will cause problems early, but we will definitely face some challenges early. Now, I haven't practiced this in a while, so usually I like to practice campaigns, maybe do the first 5 or 10 turns. But I have played Skaven a lot in the past, and frankly, I just want to get some more episodes out to you quickly, because I know it's been a little while since the Kairos campaign. And my semester is just winding down. I just have, a few more things to do to finish up the semester this weekend, and then I'm good. So I should be able to start cranking out some episodes over the summer for you. Okay. We got Throt here. As far as he goes, he's okay. He's got 5,600 health, which is not bad just for someone on infantry or just on foot to start. He does get a Brood Horror, which bumps it up to 7,200, and it's a decent fighter. But, he's not too crazy, so you don't want to put him in there dueling like a really good duelist out there. He does have 25 bonus versus large, so that's handy. His weapon strength is fairly weak early on, so you got to be careful with him. He's not one of the strongest lords in the game for sure. He doesn't have any magic. He's not good at fighting. Does get a good monster. But you just got to watch out. Be careful with him. And then probably just going to go down the blue tree as usual. Campaign movement range. Ambush success chance. Very good with Skaven because, of course, you can use your ambush offensively as well as defensively. So that's really impactful. Especially because a while ago, maybe a year or two ago, I can't remember, they nerfed the Skaven ambush to be minus 15 on offensive ambush, which is a pretty big hit, but Skaven are pretty strong to begin with, and that is an interaction that's difficult for the AI to interact with. I mean, there are skills that give you ambush defense chance, but a lot of people don't get them. And then we're just going over to Draft Master, Lightning Strike, Quartermaster, which is good, the minus 10%. And Skaven also have another good blue tree, which is Mine All Mine, 30% post-battle loot and 15% chance of stealing items. That's really, really good. So you have 3 things that are very good in blue. Most factions only have 2 that are really good, which is Lightning Strike and Quartermaster. Almost everybody has that. But then the other 2 are usually not that great. Skaven have another good one to go with it. And then, of course, Renowned and Feared is one of the best 1-point sort of wonders you can do. Now, they do have Draft Master instead of the thing that heals the Lord for like 30% after battle and reduces wound time, but it's still decent. Red Tree is okay for Skaven. It's not amazing. We might actually pick up this leadership early on because Skaven have notoriously low leadership, especially on their entry-level units. So 5 extra leadership is kind of a big deal. And then this is a little underwhelming. It's just for clan rats. It doesn't even... I wish it included like Skaven slaves, but it doesn't. It's just literally clan rats. This is for your slinger units. We're probably not going to get many of those. It's good if you're the clan Eshin guy, but not for anybody else. Blastmaster is pretty good. It's definitely worth considering. This is the weapons team's upgrades, and you have really, really good weapons teams, so that's definitely worth considering later on. It doesn't add any flat-out damage, but you do get the ammo, you do get the extra reload. And these things, some of them do have pretty low ammo, like 15 or less. I think 12 on the globe throwers, 18. So you definitely could run out of ammo in some fights with them. And this buffs up your Storm Vermin and some of your other melee champs. They're pretty good. Storm Vermin are kind of expensive for what they are. They're not really great against other infantry. Like, they're good for Skaven, but they're not amazing infantry overall. And then it's kind of disappointing, the Clan Molder that you get here. It's just speed, which is underwhelming, and then charge bonus, which is, again, okay, but not great. It'd be nice if one of those was melee attack or weapon damage at least, but it is what it is. And then engineering skill is pretty good for a lot of your kind of artillery and some of your weapons team melee stuff, like your wheels and all that. So it's decent. So the red tree is okay, but not great for Skaven. Then you just have kind of your rally, just basic leadership, temporary buff. Now this over here is pretty good. When you get to some high level monsters for 1 point, you get physical resist, armor, and leadership. So we'll talk about that later as we get there. Okay, and then we'll talk about this stuff as we get closer. It's a bunch of buffs to him and to monster things, starting at level 12. Let's go ahead and we'll get a fight in here. I always try to just explain stuff to you guys in case you've never played this before, you're thinking about buying this DLC. I like to explain things in the first couple of episodes, but I also want to make sure we're getting fights in there because I know that's what everybody likes to see. Okay. I don't know what he has, but I'm pretty sure we can beat him. Oh, let me do a little bit on this Flesh Lab before we go. So, how this works, it's kind of an odd system, and there's a lot of kind of like RNG with this, so you got to adapt and be careful. So if that's something that's frustrating to you, you know, you might want to start with Icket Claw. But basically how this works, and I'll just go ahead and explain it just because I'm going to use some of it before the first fight, is you get this mutagen up here. You start off with 100, and you get the mutagen by converting the growth juice over here. So basically this growth juice is your standard, mostly do aggressive things, and you're going to get growth juice. Just win battles. There are some buildings that can give it to you, but most of the time you're going to get it just by being aggressive, winning battles. And as this bar fills up, it can go up to 1,000. And you get a batch of monsters when you do that. And this basically turns into sort of like a regiment of renown. You don't have to pay any money for these things, but you can hire them whenever you want out of your batch of available units. So it doesn't automatically put it in your army. You can choose which army you want to put it into, I think. So recruit from the growth vat. It's literally where your regiment, it's right next to your regiment of renown units. And you do still have regiments of renown. But you fill this juice up, and then you kind of have some interesting choices here. So anytime you do one of these, you get that mutagen byproduct. So you get 100 extra mutagen so that you can modify your monsters. And your first checkpoint, you get wolf rats and then you get some other units too. It will only give you units that are of a similar tier as the top end unit that you're getting. It can give you lower, but it can't give you higher. So for example, if you get the wolf pack bunch, then there's no way you could get a Hell Pit Abomination. And sometimes you can get multiples of the top end unit. So you have kind of some choices here. Do you want to go at 500 and just cash this in more often? Then you're going to get more mutagen byproduct. And there's some other buffs you can get too when you cash these things in. So you can cash in at 500, 650 for Rat Ogres, and you get 150 mutagen. So it decays after one turn, so you have to use it like that turn when you go over 100, because all you can store is 100 until you get an upgrade for it. Brood Horror. So I think this is a pretty good middle ground for 800. A Brood Horror is a very good unit. It's tier 4. You can still get Rat Ogres off of it, which are pretty okay units. So it's decent. If you want to upgrade a little bit more, now it's only 100 more. So it's 150 to upgrade that, 150 there, then just 100 more, you can get a Mutant Rat Ogre. This is on par with the Brood Horror, in my opinion. I think they're both tier 4. The Brood Horror, I believe, we can look at the stats later, but he's faster, and I think he has more, like he has regeneration and maybe more armor, and this guy like might have more like armor-piercing damage, something like that. And they're very similar. And then the big prize is you can get the Hell Pit Abomination. That's a tier 5 unit, has a ton of HP, and it's an anti-large unit. So he's not great in like huge crowds of infantry. The Mutant Rat Ogre is probably better than that, but he's really good at dueling enemy lords or other large units. So it's kind of up to you. I would personally probably wait and do either the Brood Horror if you really need something quick, or just save up and get the Hell Pit Abomination. Because when you get that Abomination, then there's chances you could get Rat Ogres or Brood Horrors. There's a higher chance you're going to get those units with that. So you're going to get a lot of stuff that's good. Versus when you get the Brood Horror, you know, you're probably just going to get Rat Ogres and dogs, you know, with that. Okay. But anyways, when you cash that out, you get this mutagen, and then you can use it to upgrade infantry units, and there's a variety of upgrades here. So you got like Frenzy, which is pretty good on a unit, 20 armor, 15 spell resist, that's good. Stalk is kind of whatever, 5 melee damage and piercing, 2 random green augments, so that's handy. Melee defense, and this one's good, minus 15% upkeep and casualty replenishment. So most of your infantry is pretty cheap, but obviously if you put this on like Storm Vermin or something like that, it could be pretty good. And then the blue, I believe, costs, it's not telling me here, but I believe it costs, no, it still only costs 25. Okay, and then the purple ones cost 50. These are rare ones or whatever. Physical resist, and usually these have upsides and downsides. There's some min-max once you start getting to the blue. You've got minus 5 melee, 20% physical resist. That's pretty good. This one's all good. Feral Rage, charge bonus, weapon damage, minus melee defense, but you get 1 cast of Death Frenzy for free. And leadership, you just cause terror, and minus leadership, plus 20 melee attack, plus 40% weapon damage, but minus 100% replenishment. So basically you're not going to replenish unless you use the special laboratory replenishment thing, which I can show you in a second. But yeah, that one's getting really iffy. And then this is a good bonus versus large, plus 10 versus large, plus 5 normal melee attack, and then weapon strength 20%. So that would actually be really good to put on like your Storm Vermin halberds for like a super good anti-large unit. And then you get 3 random blue ones for the price of 50, so you save a little bit. Regeneration and Perfect Vigor is okay, and the Necroparasites is 1 use of like a massive heal. It's like 60% of your HP. So that's just on your infantry units. So probably Storm Vermin is the only thing you'd want to use that on, most likely. Maybe some weapons teams in some situations. And then this is stuff you can put on monsters. So you got Warp Lightning. This is an interesting one. I think it can hurt you. It can definitely hurt people around you. But you get 3, it casts like Warp Lightning and blasts everything around you. So if you're a single entity unit, that's not going to hurt that much. the explosion damage for 24 or whatever. But, you know, that's really going to hurt infantry around you. So we've already got that on the dogs down here. So we'll get to test that out in the first fight. From what I remember, it's pretty good if you remember to use it. And then leadership and vanguard is kind of whatever. Weapon strength, 10% and 4 melee attack. That's really good. Usually your monsters are going to hit pretty hard. 2 random augments. Now it's only ones that are unlocked. So you can game this a little bit by just getting this right here. So you can get 20% weapon strength and 25% charge bonus. That's really good. And then you can unlock this and get 2 random ones. And then it will only give you either this one, this one, this one, or this one. And 3 of those 4 are really good, and the other one's just like whatever. But that would be a really nice way to control that, what you're getting. The physical resist can also be good with speed. Guardian is nice to have one of these to help out your lords. And then you've got the upkeep reduction and casualty replenishment. So this is a lot better on monsters, especially ones that are really expensive, like the Hell Pit Abomination. That's going to be pretty good there, obviously. And then you got some more extreme stuff going up here. So you got minus 100 armor. So you're going to have 0 armor. I don't know if you can go negative with that or not. 20% weapon strength. And you give Weeping Blade, which is minus 50% enemy armor. So that's pretty good, but most of your monsters are already pretty heavy armor piercing. So, I don't know. And they're going to be very vulnerable to missile units. So, you know, you got to be careful with that. Contaminating attacks, plus 10 versus infantry, and then minus 5 melee, so that's pretty good. Now, a lot of your units are going to have terror, so getting contaminated on there for an extra minus 10 leadership can be quite nice. And then this is the same thing, weapon strength, melee attack, but minus defense and no casualty replenishment. Cellular instability, minus some replenishments. That's going to hurt, but you'll still replenish some. And then you get a powerful explosion you can do around the unit that you can use once. So, you know, that can be really good on like a Hell Pit Abomination or something that's in a huge infantry stack. Stalk and Unspottable, but plus 15% extra. Why would you do that? I don't know. Plus 15% upkeep of Stalk and Unspottable. I guess if you want to sneak around with dogs and just like flank their artillery or something, that could work. Plus 30 armor and 15% missile resist. This is really nice. Now, you are a little bit slower, but a lot of your monsters are fairly low armor, so that's going to have a lot of value in many situations. Then we have Acidic Musk. So it damages you and everything around you by a ton. So like 140 damage a second for 19 seconds. So I don't know. That seems a little crazy to me. And minus 30 armor. But maybe on a Hell Pit Abomination, if you have a lot of replenishment on them, you just really want to delete some really pesky halberds or something that are on your Hell Pit Abomination, maybe. And then 3 random rare augments and basically regeneration, but with downsides, because you got crumbling and disintegrating now. And that, I think that stacks with like your big single entity monster debuff, the wounds. So I don't know, that's iffy. But then in the laboratory itself, we've got harvest organs. So you can use 20 food to get a bunch of replenishment. Buyback, you can pay 5,000 gold and refill your mutagen, which can be good later. Bunch of replenishment for Throt himself. And then you can start paying food and money to get some of these upgrades. So your Skaven slaves will come with 1 to 5 random augments that you've unlocked for free. So that's pretty handy. Plus 3 recruit rank for all growth fat units. So that's good. There is a thing over here with infantry too. It's like plus 5 rank. So if you get plus 3 on the recruited units, if you get some infantry, and I don't remember if you can get infantry in the VATs or not, but if you get infantry with it and you put the plus 5 on there, then you'd have like a rank 9 infantry right out the gate. So that could be pretty good. Plus 5% growth juice from battles is sort of whatever. Increases food. So every growth fat you use gives you 10 food as well. This would give it 15. Depends on how often you're using it. That could be okay. Oh, and then your Flesh Lab mutagen max goes to 200. So I guess you don't even get the bonus temporarily until you get this upgrade. Then it goes to disappearing over time. And then when you recycle a unit, you get 5 and augments applied to growth batches. So you get 1 free augment on your batches, which is really nice. Minus 25% upkeep for each instability on your augment, which is good. And I'll show you what that is in a second. And then adds an additional unit. So not including Skaven slaves. So that means you can get infantry out of your growth vats. And then ward save 10% for units with 4 more augments. So that's pretty handy, especially if you combine that with the Skaven slave stuff. You can get some pretty good upgrades. Okay, so whenever you put these upgrades on people, there's a 10% chance that it's going to have an instability on it. What that means is it takes damage until it gets to the instability level. So level 1, it basically will pretty much always fall down to 75% health. So to start of a fight, it starts taking damage until it gets to 75%. So basically, it pretty much reduces their max health. You get a little bit at the start. You can heal past that amount. You can replenish past that amount, so you open the fight with more, but you will eventually go to 75% health during a fight. And if you want to augment the unit more, then it's minus 50% on the augment cost. So you get a deal to keep playing with this thing, but there's a 50% chance that it's going to get more instabilities. Now, I don't remember what happens if it gets more. I know that the health goes down from 75 to 50 to 25%, but I don't remember if the cost goes down as well, or if it just stays at 50%. And you get growth juice. So if you recycle this unit, meaning you kill it, basically, then you get 50 extra growth juice. So if there's more, if you just want to keep feeding more upgrades, I don't know if the growth juice goes up. So if you have an instability 3, if that's 150 growth juice or not. But that's an interesting strategy there if you just want to try to, pump out as much growth juice as possible to get more monsters. But then you're not going to have as many augments that stick around because you're having to kill the unit that you're experimenting on. So some pretty interesting give and take. But at least to unlock these augments, you have to get all of the things before that. So to get to here, I would have to unlock this, this, and this in order to get to that one. And then to get to this one, I would have to unlock this one and this one. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get the discount. So most of the time it's 25 on most monsters, but because this one, again, is already unstable, we're going to do it cheaply because that augment kind of sucks. Okay, so it looks like we get instability 2. Okay, we did. So we got a little unlucky there, but does that take him down to 50% health? But the growth juice does go up. So now I would get 100 growth juice. So the future augments are still 50%. Yeah.
Where are your keys? I see my blankie in your car.
Go ask Mommy. Mommy's got them.
Because yours says it's unlocked, but, still needs the key.
Okay.
It usually works, but it won't open.
Okay. Now is this one? This one might already be unlocked, even though I didn't buy it yet. I think it's unlocked. Okay, so we can decide. Now, I didn't realize the replenishment goes down a lot, 30% here, so it's probably not replenishing. So we can keep it for 1 or 2 battles, but then we're gonna have to recycle it. But we did unlock this 2 random one, so I think I'm gonna put that on him. And then now that's gonna unlock at least this one, which is still pretty good. But I think I want to put 2 on this guy. Apply 2 random ones and see if we get a good one here. Okay, so what do we get? We got Warp Lightning and the 10% weapon strength. Okay. And then I think I want to go ahead and upgrade this dude too for 25. So you're basically getting a 2 for 1. And like I said, pretty much all of these are good. So I think I really like that strategy. If I unlock this one, then I'm basically just getting physical resist or guardian, which is kind of whatever. I think I would rather have these. This one's good, but this one's sort of whatever. So I think I'm going to do that. Okay, so what do we get here? We got... okay, so we got one bad one, so the leadership and Vanguard. But we did get the casualty replenishment and the upkeep reduction, so that's pretty handy. Okay. And I really wouldn't worry about upgrading dogs unless you just want to experiment on them, which, again, if we want to upgrade this further, you know, we could pay. But this 2-for-1 is, I think, going to be the best bargain for a long time, and it can't give us blue stuff. So it just comes down to, do we want one of these blue things, or do we want a 2-for-1? Now, you can get a 3-for-1 rare augments, but some of these you actively don't want most of the time, right? Like I've said before, I mean, I don't want my unit like having minus 100 armor probably, and this one I don't want them to have the casualty replenishment rate. So maybe, like, again, really late game, something like Acidic Musk, but I think just for now, like, I'm good with this. Okay. So now we're going to actually get into a fight. So sorry, a lot of talking there, but I wanted to upgrade these before I went to this fight. Okay. That dude's anti-large, so we got to be careful with that. How much anti-large? Pretty heavy. So he will light up our stuff. Now, Throt is anti-large. Is this dude also anti-large? This dude's also anti-large. The Packmaster. Okay. They do have some ranged. These are also anti-large. They've got a lot of hybrid units, which is sort of annoying. And their fighter is anti-large. Okay. Now, we don't have any menace from below. You can use food to get more menace from below if you want. And the more contaminated with Skaven, corruption, an area is, then you get free menace from below. And that basically just summons up clan rats, and you can do that anywhere on the map once every 45 seconds. So it's really nice for taking out artillery, just locking up archers and stuff like that. Obviously, they're not insane fighters, but they can be really disruptive and really annoying, especially for artillery. Now, I don't know about sieges, if you can summon those up and, like, take checkpoints. I assume that summoned monsters can't take checkpoints, or that would probably be OP. So you could just summon them up on a checkpoint, you know, that nobody's near, and just take them during a siege. So I'm assuming that doesn't work. By the way, I try not to do cheese in my campaigns, too, if you're newer to the channel. So there might be, you know, some strategies where you, like, multi-sack a town or something like that. It's just, like, really efficient to do, but I'm just not going to do it because I just don't like to play that way. One thing that I haven't tried before that I might actually give a chance here is just trying to rush food as fast as possible and then use that food to... sorry, how do I want to manage this? I think I'll just put him in here with this guy. Well, he needs to be his own thing, so he's got this Warp Lightning, whatever. And then use that food to upgrade my main town to tier 5. So that's a strategy that I saw that I hadn't thought of before, where you can just abandon your main town and then upgrade it with food to get to tier 4 or tier 5, like, pretty fast. Oh, wait, do those... Yeah, these should be able to go up there. Now, they do have some archers, too, though. A lot of great Vanguard options here. No, I could get, like, over there and run at them, but... Okay, let's just go over here. These things might get lit up here. Let's see. They do have some resistance. Yeah, we're probably going to be recycling those pretty quick. As you can see, they are getting a little lit up there. Boys, get in there. I need to summon some rat ogres too. Did those things rally? Can't tell. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What is that? Is that the... What is... Oh, the dervishes? Get these slaves in here. What is that? Oh, the dervishes? It's fine. What is that that's lighting this dude up? Back up. I don't like that. This might hit some own people, let's see. Okay. That wasn't too bad. Maybe got my dude a little bit. Now, obviously, if they die and get rounded off, you don't have them anymore. So it's always kind of a cat and mouse. Do you bring them into the fight or not? What? Did that just say we only got 2 food? Oh my god. You're getting super stingy with that food, huh? Man, we need the food, but we also need money. Is it really just 2 every time? I mean, I thought we killed quite a few people there. Maybe it's because... Is it going to zero them out? I mean, I guess we're taking the 2 food. We kind of do need money, but we need the food, like, as fast as we can get it. So we can upgrade our main town. Okay, man thing. Okay, I think it's just... Yeah, we're gonna get that. God, I hope they haven't nerfed food that much. That's gonna be crazy. I think we're gonna have to do Inspiring Presence first. Just for the extra leadership. Oh, and this guy's pretty good. He can get a Brood Horror as well at a certain point. And then you get an extra 5% for your monsters if you want. You get Carrot and a Stick. Upkeep reduction for monsters. Obviously good. And you have a choice of hero action stuff or Flesh Snatcher, which does extra replenishment, potentially. So I think that's max level replenishment, I believe. Replenish troops. And then max level replenish troops. And then you can summon up to 4 different dogs when you get all their points. So that's pretty good. Oh, and you get Shock Collar, which you can use on any monster to give 24 melee attack, 16 leadership, and immune to sight. And it's just, you can do it every minute. Okay, so we'll do Tail Weapon. And you can you get some decent upgrades on him. You get that Brood Horror. It's only 40 armor, but you can do some more like hard to hit, charge bonus. So it's pretty decent. Right. And this was only hurt that much. I thought it was going to get hurt more than that. It's not even below the 50% yet. Okay. Let's try to take this out. Pyrrhic again. Wow, just no faith. Now here, for some reason, this property is corrupted enough where we get 2 minutes from below. So I'm not entirely sure what's up with that, but because they were either on their own property or on my property before, and I wasn't getting any menace. It doesn't add corruption if you win a fight, so I'm not sure like what changed. We must have been on my property, but then their property for some reason has more Skaven corruption to start than my property, which I don't understand that. Maybe it's just the game just does that at the start. I don't know. What is this? Who wouldn't want to see your army? I guess if you're trying to like film or something, trying to record some stuff. There are some content creators that do that, slow motion battles and things. Okay, I gotta do a little bit better job. I didn't do an amazing job microing last time. These Night Runners actually didn't take that much damage. They are pretty resistant to physical stuff early on. This guy took some damage, which is not great. But, okay. We'll just have them both doing that. Same map, basically. No, not quite, but close. These actually have Vanguard. Okay, we'll just make him 5. The Vanguard is handy. I was kind of talking trash about the Vanguard, but it is kind of handy for monsters. So we probably want to distract these guys while these dudes run up on them. It is a little sus that we don't have any magic to start with. That's a little rough, because usually that's one of the ways you can kind of make up for the fact that, you know, they're gonna have better stats than you because it's legendary. may have just hit my own units too much. I don't know. Oops, I don't know why I just summoned him in the water, but okay. These rat ogres are performing a lot better than I thought. Go ahead and just run these guys out. We just let these dudes just keep them busy. I want these rat ogres like getting the kills though, if I can. I really don't want the dogs getting a ton of kills because I'm going to recycle them, and they just don't scale super well. But they are very good at running down things, obviously. But if I can get kills on the rat ogres, that's great. We won't waste too much time. I mean, if we were really trying to like turbo min-max it, we'd just have the rat ogres run down those last units on the side there. Because I think it just kind of, the AI will just split up and decide who's going to kill all the remaining units when it rounds them off. And it's probably going to give a lot to the dogs. I don't know how it determines that. It's probably something like speed and other stats. Man, they are stingy with that food. Buildings might give more, though. Or, like, taking over towns might give more. I guess we're going to find out. That's interesting. You can burn something for growth fat juice and food. You can expand under Empire, which can give food. But let me just see here. 20. Oh, they nerfed it. Right? Oh, man. The wiki's wrong. Huh. Because, hold on, let me see. Maybe not. How much? No, it says 80, right? It's 40, 20, 80. Because the wiki says it's 20, 40, 80, 120. So they were saying it was 120 to get to tier 5. But this is saying that it's 80 to get to tier 3, which means tier 4 is probably 120. And I think tier 5 might be 160 or something. So we might not be able to do tier 5, which is probably fine. I mean, most of your really good monsters that you would want multiple of, the Brood Horror and the Rat Ogres, are tier 4. And that's also where all the weapons teams are and all that stuff. Now, it might be different on capitals. We'll see when we take a capital. But it's loot and occupy. No, you have to loot and occupy. So it does... If you're taking over a province that has a lot of towns, like a 4-stack province, you're going to get a rebellion. And public order is historically kind of a problem. 4 Skaven. Okay, go town.
I must eat, feed.
Yeah, they're not replenishing anything, basically. I was trying to look up, but there's just not like reliable, accurate information on a lot of things with Warhammer, unfortunately. With like newer stuff, some posts are older and all that. Hard to hit is pretty good. 15% hit points are good, especially on the Brood Horror. Wound Maker's obviously nice. 20% extra damage. I kind of like hard to hit because he doesn't have a lot of armor and he doesn't have a lot of melee defense early on. So that just... But we could also get more post-battle loot. I think the fights are going to be kind of tricky early on, so I'm just going to go ahead and get hard to hit and try to get my way over to Shot Caller. Even though post-battle loot is good. So I think we're going to need 120 food in order to get our thing to tier 4. But we're getting so little food. It's crazy. We got +6 from winning, what, two fights? Do we need to growth this up? Let's see, where are we going next? Probably Fort Ostrowski. That's not a bad garrison. Why is the garrison so crazy at tier 1? That's pretty nice. I mean, it's like low tier units, but it's just a lot of them. That might be kind of tricky. Now I'm gonna just be attacking that next turn though. Okay, so let's see. Over here, we definitely need to hire something. Now, historically, I have liked the plague spells better, but they've nerfed them a lot. So if we look at the magic here, plague spells, you got Blessed with Filth, which basically just gives your units poison, which is okay, but not amazing. Pestilent Breath is 20 damage, no piercing, for 8. So it's okay, but it's, I feel like, less than it used to be. Wither may have been buffed. I think it used to cost 8, now it costs 6. Basically shreds 30 armor. A lot of your infantry are low armor dealing things, but rat ogres and most of your monsters are pretty heavy armor piercing, so that's kind of hit or miss. Now this was the bread and butter, and I'm pretty sure this used to be 5 baseline, and then when you upgraded it, oh, you can't even overcast it now? I thought there was something that would make it to where it would go down to like 3 magic to cast it, but now it's like 7. And you get clan rats, which it is still really good. So this plus Menace from below is just tons and tons and tons of clan rats. Plague is still really good. So that's 12 for 8 damage per second. A lot of these vortex spells are like 4 damage per second. So this is like double, and it's 100% pen. 20-second duration, which is a long time, and it is stationary, so it just stays in the same place. So very, very good. One of the best vortex spells in the game. And then Pestilent Birth is you summon Plague Monks, which are okay, but 16 is a lot for Plague Monks. So that's like okay. Then the Ruin spells, you got Howling Warp Gale, which basically is 14 seconds of flying units can't move. Sort of whatever. Warp Lightning, though, is 6 to do pretty good explosion damage. Death Frenzy, you can cast on a unit to give them 30% weapon damage and 24 melee attack. This is really good on charging monsters. And if you overcast it, it's AoE, so it can hit multiple monsters. So if you have like 3 packs of rat ogres and you run in, then you could do that. Scorch, good breath spell. So only 7, so it's cheaper than the other one, and it does 36 damage instead of 20. And it's magical damage, so it gets around physical resist, and it's fire damage, just in case they take extra damage from fire. So it's pretty good. Now, it is like a bit of a smaller hit box, but I think it's also longer. It's good. And then Crack's Call is 35 damage, which is less, but it's 100% armor piercing, and I think it's a bigger hitbox. But it costs like a lot. So it's okay, but not amazing. And then Flensing Ruin is AoE, kind of good damage versus characters, single entities, I guess. It's like 40 damage times 24, probably about 1,000 damage or so. It can hit other things too. If you have like 2 or 3 characters stacked up in one place, it's handy. It's kind of like that War of Metal spell. If you overcast it, it lasts longer. So I'm not sure which one I would want. I feel like Ruin is probably better. But basically, we need magic, I think. So, because there are no more, like, you can't hire lords that are good with monsters in the same way that Throt is. He's unique. You've got the heroes that can give you the monster stuff, the pack masters, but other than that, there's no special bonuses for hiring certain kinds of lords, like Ikit Claw. You really probably want to put him with Warlock Masters. But I think a Warlock Master is probably the way to go. They've got a lot of armor early on. They're good versus infantry. And they do come stock with Warp Lightning for free, which is nice. You don't have to put any points in it to get that. And they upgrade and get some pretty good stuff. I think they can eventually get on a Doom Wheel, which is okay. They can get a little bit more magic later on, which is kind of whatever. Musk of Fear is pretty good. Extra powder. I didn't realize they get that. They also get like Brass Orb. Warlord is sort of whatever. Like, he is a good fighter, but I think he might be able to get on a Rat Ogre. Master also gives like bonuses and discounts to weapons teams. The Assassin just kind of sucks. I just really don't like these range type of units. So it's really either Grey Seer, which is a terrible fighter, but can cast some stuff. You can summon Storm Vermin as a spell, which is kind of whatever. It's 20, which is insanely expensive. Storm Vermin are not that good. I mean, they're okay, but they're not worth 20. And they can get like a mount, like a bell mount that gives a lot of extra leadership for people. So it's okay, but I think we'll probably go with Warlock Master because he's a good combination of kind of like decent caster that can actually fight. Now, he is way more expensive. Okay, we're going to go with this. He's got 4 to 9 loyalty. We got 7, that's good. So the loyalty, you'll get a lot of kind of dilemmas and things like that, where you can spend your loyalty to get traits, or sometimes you might lose loyalty for doing certain things. So yeah, he gets a Doomflayer at 7, which is pretty nice. It's a lot of armor, a lot of HP, very good against infantry. And then Doom Wheel at 15. And then you've got spell stuff, replenishment plus 9%, which is really good. And then you kind of get to choose what you want to do. Vehicle things, upkeep production on weapons team, which is good, or construction engineer, which is kind of whatever. And then you get Brass Orb, which is a good like free vortex spell that does quite a bit of damage. It'll wipe out, you know, some infantry. You can get him to fight a little bit better if you want. You can do a little more spells if you want. Just putting a couple points in would get you Scorch. You can just spam Warp Lightning and Scorch. That's probably serviceable. And then you've got your same kind of blue and red tree as the main guy. Okay. So, we're going to buy just slaves, I think. And then over here, I think we're going to buy clan rats. I just want the melee defense, because the monsters are probably going to kill everybody. Now, there's a debate. Do you just do, like, all slaves? But these have 25 more armor, which is a lot. And, you know, 8 more melee defense. I think right now we just do these clan rats with spears. Once we get those things where you get the extra free augments, that's when we might, you know, consider doing slaves. But for now, I think this is probably better. Especially on your initial couple armies. Okay, so over here, are we going to do... How much do the clan rats matter versus... I do want this rubbish pit, but do I want to buy it here? Or do I want to buy it over here? I want to upgrade this and at least go to tier 2. So we can get Chieftain, we can get this, so we can unlock Ferocious Plans for the tech, and we want the weapons team. Specifically, these Warp Grinders are extremely good on sieges, very, very good units. They can tear through walls really quickly, and they basically have a free spell that just like deletes enemy infantry that you can do every 90 seconds. So they're really powerful, and they're not that expensive. And then the Warp Fire Thrower is like a pretty serviceable early weapon team. Requires a little bit of micro, but those things can definitely light up some enemies. Those would be very good with like Vanguard and things like that potentially. So do I want to do Rubbish Pit here and put a Growth Pit somewhere else, or do I want to get like exotic animal cages? So we get more juice. We can maybe trade, probably not, but then this would give us extra food. I kind of need the growth building, I feel. If we're just going to get up to tier 3 naturally, which I don't know if we're going to do that or spend the food, because it looks like the food has been nerfed, like, massively. Your ability to do that. The turbo upgrade. And just how much food we're getting from battles is crazy low. But if I take this, I kind of do want more clan rats too. Okay, we're gonna do the clan rats here, just so we can recruit clan rats in this area. And that means we need to do Rubbish Pit just to unlock a technology so that we can start the tech. Then we can delete the Rubbish Pit after we start that tech. And then we can buy the growth thing. Because we might just have to get up to tier 3 organically if this is going to cost too much food. If we're not going to be able to do that tier 4 thing until like turn 20 or something. Okay. And then probably just expansionist planning for the food. We do have a right as well that would give us 3 food per turn. It does cost 3,000 gold, which is expensive, obviously, but we probably want to do that ASAP just so we can get a little bit more control, recruitment cost, growth, all that stuff would be pretty nice. And then get 15 extra food. Okay. So let's do that. And then I'm assuming we don't have any friends. No. There might be some evil people eventually that would want to trade with us, but early on it's probably not happening. Okay, and then... Wait, one of these commandments lets us recruit more people, doesn't it? Yeah, but we're gonna walk out of this property and probably reinforce this fight next turn. Okay, I think we're good. We moved everybody. Everybody's recruiting. We don't want to recycle or juice anything yet. Okay. I wish Rat Ogres were tier 2. It feels like they should be, because I think the vampire monster unit is tier 2, I think. Which is similar to Rat Ogres. But I don't know. Maybe they're too strong. I thought on paper, they don't look that strong. But maybe they are. Trolls are tier 2. They're probably better than trolls. They have more leadership than trolls, for sure. They don't regenerate, but... Embed a warlock engineer into the Throt's army. Oh, you just get that straight up? There's not a quest battle for that? That's crazy. That's kind of cheap on a DLC, not having a quest battle. I guess that's not like super uncommon, but okay, so we definitely want to get to tier 3 ASAP. So that's when we get an engineer. Okay, Ungles are dead. Okay, so they hired a ward here, of course. This guy is kind of strong. Rank 5 already. I guess I'm 3. I'll be 5 after I take this. How did he get that so fast? I guess the AI gets bonuses on things. But yeah, the Rat Ogres, now they've been modified a little bit, but they start off with like 26 melee attack and defense, which is really low, but they hit pretty hard at 75. They do have Frenzy, so that does take them up to 37 melee attack and then like 80 something weapon strength. So they hit pretty hard, and I feel like they weigh, I guess that's not like a massive amount, but they are pretty decent. And then we've got the leadership and Vanguard on them. Okay. And this guy is pretty good. He doesn't have any anti-infantry or large, but still 57-39 is pretty good. And he's got Frenzy. So he's pretty decent. But I feel like the Rat Ogres are putting in just as much or more work than him. Just because there's 16 of them. So if they all get to swing, I mean, that's a lot. It's like thousands of damage. And I'm pretty sure they have sweeping attacks too. It doesn't say that, but certain units, like these bigger monster units, when they hit, they can hit multiple targets and it like splits their damage between multiple targets. Okay, I guess. Yeah, I mean, all we can get is Ruthless Plan, or Devious Plans, just so we have something. Breeding stock. I thought, didn't we get that? Oh, it's this. So it's tier 2 for this one now. This used to be right here. Okay, so now you got to get tier 2 to get it, to get these early techs, which is pretty annoying because this tech is not good. The Devious Plans. I mean, the other stuff you have to get with it. So like Fight Dirty is hit and run. I mean, it's very, very specific. I guess the Fight Dirty is hit and run's pretty good, but we can't get these until we get to tier 2. So, what is the Ferocious Plans one? There's Ruthless. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, again, that used to be there, and you could just start doing that immediately. This is the best one. This is where we want to go. Ferocious for extra recruitment, and then Clan Rat bonus stuff, more Clan Rat stuff, more Clan Rat stuff. So you get a bunch of Clan Rat things, sack bonus, and then Menace from Below. This one's really good on sieges, the missile resist and 10 extra leadership. Then if you want to go up here for the extra monster stuff, I think you have to have the tier 4 monster thing to get there. Tier 3. So that's not too bad. 15 charge bonus for Rat Ogres is good. So there's some pretty good stuff in there. This middle tree is pretty nice. Extra food generated. Growth. Cost reduction. Leadership +3 for everybody. Very good, especially Skaven slaves. Control is kind of whatever. +2 loyalty for new recruits is cool, and then campaign movement range is good. But to get to this, to carve under tunnels, you have to take everything anyways. And then this stuff down here is pretty good. You get 5% replenishment. It doesn't help advance the tree, but if you want to take a little detour, that's nice. And then minus 25% upkeep, 5 melee defense, and 5 charge bonus is kind of odd. On slaves, but now they'll have some charge bonus, I guess. Yeah, it's pretty good if we want to do a bunch of the Skaven slave stuff. They're already dirt cheap, you know, but 20% is still 6 gold off per if you have like 18 of them in an army, you know. It adds up. And then stuff down here is whatever. This is for like slingers, ambush chance is kind of cool, assassins. It's not that great. And then this is for like plague monk stuff over here. So I don't really like their tech tree that you have to, because Skaven are very specialized. I know we're out of time here, but like there's a lot of different ways you can play them, which I think adds a lot of replayability to it, and each ward kind of specializes in different types of units, so each ward feels really unique. But then with the technologies, it feels like you have to get almost all of them in order to advance. Right, so in order to get over here to the plans within plans, and you know, just some of that stuff that you might want, you have to go through, you know, the slinger stuff, or if you want to get to the plague monk stuff, you have to go through the slinger stuff, and that just kind of feels bad. This is good because you want clan rats pretty much everywhere, so this one's fine, and that allows you to get to the weapons team over here, which are really good. So you get an extra 25% ammo, upkeep reduction, recruit rank, and then range and missile strength are obviously very good. So that's handy. And then you can get to ingenious plans off of that, which is more weapons teams type of things. So the weapons teams have a pretty good build out. But yeah, the plague monks, the slingers, and all that stuff is a little more sketch. But anyways, okay, well that's it for this episode. Thank you very much. We'll get in there next time. We should have an interesting fight here at Fort Ostrosk, and then we'll just kind of see from there what we want to do. I think, yeah, it's gonna put us in conflict with these guys. So we'll see what we want to do here. But it should be interesting. Anyways, that's gonna be it. Thank you very much. Have a good day, and we'll see you back next time.